Okay, I believe this is the same as that. And these are the same as those little teeth looking stuff. And there's all this red blood in this as well. Now, this is the front of it, like we'd be looking into this. But back here is the strap. Right there, I think I showed you this before. Oh, that's the strap, and this is the ball that locks in with all its teeth. And I'm almost certain I showed you the anatomical of this. Now, we're going to look down actually in the side here to where all the blood is. It's just saturated with blood, the same as that right there. If you look at that carefully, you have to know the details. You got to look at the details. What do you see? Well, you see a round thing with this little tab coming out. Well, I say that was the strap, and that's the ball. First of all, you see how basically round it is. Secondly, you see all these little teeth-looking things all around the edge. Those are kind of strange. Then you look down below, and you see some extreme greenness. And all of the river is just as green can be. Now, that is from blood. That's what happens when you have a lot of blood. You get as green can be. Shown it a million times. They sell blood meal to make things grow green. And you're going to see down in this rock, blood just saturated with blood. And just like this one, same. All right, I'm going to have to turn the lights off, but here's what we're going to be looking at. Again, that's the strap, and right down in this crack, we're down into the real red blood, and you can see it real easily. And that's how these straps, they're in a really bloody matrix, as you could see, and that's why it's growing so green there. Okay, there we are looking at it now. Here it is up in the screen up here. Now, that red blood area there, I'm going to point out the different areas and what they mean. And I'll be playing around with the lights a little bit. But this is the strap coming in. And you come down from the strap into the red blood. Now let me just focus down there. You see, now we're getting down to where the red blood is. It's just globs of blood down in there. And this is also tissue, but it was separated and eroded on that spot because the straps pull and stretch, and you get all that red bloody stuff in between, as I think I showed you on my belt. Now, I'm going to put some water on that, and we're going to see what happens. Now, I imagine that's going to soak up within like instants. Now, I'm going to put a little more light on there. And you see it just suck that water right up. It just takes it right in. Blood is extreme. Look, it's just drying right up. And that is just nothing more than blood. Totally dry now. Well, not too dry, but it's not, you know, you're not seeing any slick looking water on her. Now I'd like to try something. I'm going to try a Catalase test, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, what the hell, I'll give it a shot. So you can see how wet and bloody looking it is now. I normally like to do this dry, but let's see what happens. All right, I'm going to have to focus in real close because otherwise you don't see the bubbling. Okay, like I say, I think that is just a big ball of blood. Now I'm going to put the hydrogen peroxide in there and see if we can get a catalase reaction, which means will it bubble up. And I can see it's just coming off bloody. You see it bubbling? I can't get any closer than that. but I can see it bubbling. That's a catalase reaction now. It should really start taking off in a minute, which I can see it right now. Now I'm going to try to get more in there, because the catalase will really do a good job at getting rid of the extra oxygen. So you just got to keep putting it in until, but this is where it's coming out of. There's an entryway right there. Membrane or something right in this area. See how it's fizzing up right there? I wish I could get closer, but I can't. That's a catalase reaction. There's no question about it. You know, I'm going to really hose it down. Give me a second. What the hell? All right, I just really flushed it with hydrogen peroxide. Look at this. Now we're seeing it. See, that's what you want to see on the membranes. That's the hydrogen peroxide on the membranes. That was where they really fuzz. You see it? That's all membrane around there. See way down here, fuzzy. That's a pretty good catalase reaction. You see it boiling up in there? I've explained this so many times, but just so you understand, this I put in was H2O2, which is, water is H2O. H2O2 just gets you an extra oxygen. Your body does not want extra oxygen. They call it reactive oxygen species. They want to kill it. So you have an enzyme built into every living thing, even plants and everything. They have this same enzyme, which is called catalase. And it attacks the oxygen and breaks it up and gets it out. And that's what it's doing right now. All those bubbling are cutting off one extra oxygen. And catalase is doing that because it's an enzyme. See, now it's all dried up again. Anyway, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that is blood, and that is the same blood as you're seeing right around here. Same thing. That's why it's so green. They do not get green like that without having the nitrogen in the blood. Or it could be feathers, but it's not feathers, it's blood. They sell feather meal and they sell blood meal. Both of those things make plants grow very green very quickly. That's what you got right there. All right, I want you to look at this now. Where I am going to be showing you is right where the strap meets the not strap. I guess that's the best way to put it. You see right there? The yellowish looking stuff? And then the strap. That's the strap. That's the yellowish looking stuff, which is transitioning into blood. But it's all skin. The whole thing was covered with skin. And they will have those little black balls, because skin has the little black balls. Now let me show you in a microscope the little black balls that are over here. It's heavily eroded, but they're still there. You can see them. The black balls don't erode like all the rest of the stuff. They're tougher, but they're heavily eroded, but not as bad as all the straps are gone. Hold on. All right, here's what you have to look at. Out here, these are still some of the little straps, and there's some balls and so forth out there. Now let me see if I can focus in a little better. This out here, it was all balls and straps still. Then it eroded coming this way towards the edge of the strap. Now I'm going to move this out towards where it gets less and less strappy. It's losing all of that fibrous stuff, and it's just sort of eroding away. Now we're getting way out to where the edge of the strap is. All right, and there's the edge of the strap right there. This right here, from here up, is all the tendinous, strappy stuff. This is just bloody stuff. And I'm going to show you where we're looking now so that we don't get lost. This is where we're looking, right here at the edge of the strap. Don't forget, that's the strap. All right, let me just turn the light on. Well, here, let me use this one so you can't miss it. All right, there's the strap right there. There's the yellow stuff, you see it? All right, now we're going to go back up here and look at that yellow stuff. And the strap at the same time. And what do you see that they have in common? Let me turn the light up a little bit. Alright, let me adjust this. We're up at the strap. You see all the little black balls? And they were attached to straps here. The same thing here, but this is more eroded. These had the same things. There were balls and straps down here, but this is fleshy stuff that's cheap. This is the tough stuff, much more stayed intact. You can still see some of the straps and the balls if you look at it carefully. Let me see if I can. Sometimes the light makes a big difference in what you can actually see. You can see the balls all over, and I can see the straps. I know what to look for. And if you go back this way onto it, you can see more and more straps. And then if I can't move this where you can see, but all of these areas have, see the straps? See all the little strap looking stuff? And all the balls. All right, and that whole strap comes back like this. You can see a little of the texture. You really got to take your time and look at it. All right, you see the wave of this coming around this way? That's all the strap. That is the strap. Now we come back up this way here until we hit the edge of the strap, which is here. But this is still all the strap, this run here. And that has all the same balls, but it's fleshy. All right, this has all the strappy stuff in it. This has all the fleshy stuff that just sort of melts away. This is a different story. That's the tough stuff. All right, like I say, it takes a long, long time to find all the little details and be sure that what you're seeing is what you're seeing. All right, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is a strappy strap. And it locks that thing into the body, just as I showed you with all the anatomy. And I believe that thing up there, or that is exactly the same as this. And it's just saturated with blood, just like the one up above, and just like that one is right there. Okay, my claim is that that is skin, and that is the claws of the skin, just like that. And this is all the red blood around it, and it is skin, just as that is skin. And that's why everything is growing so green there, because of all of that red blood. Now, in the microscope right here, I am going to show you another piece of this skin, and the blood right there is the artery, and the blood is coming out of the skin right there. Now, I'm going to put a little water on it. Let me turn the lights off and focus this better. All right, you see that right there? That is, I believe it's the artery. And this is a 1 inch across here, as you can see. Now, I'm going to put a little water on there. We're going to see it a little bit better. Now, what it is it was laying flat like this, and the blood drained down out of that, I believe, artery. It could be a vein. I don't really know. It's got red and black, so it's a little tricky. But this is skin. Now, I'm going to move this a little bit. You see all the little black balls and so forth in there? You see the little red blood vessels? And that's the top of the skin right there. This is the thickness of the skin, that whole thickness right there. All right, and the other one I'm showing has the claws coming down. That's this one down here. All right, so there's two different pieces. Of course, they both have blood coming into them. But this one is the clamp, and it has a strap, just virtually identical to that. All right, let's take one more look up at this one up in the microscope. Now, I'm going to change around the light a little bit. I'm going to put a little water on there first. That usually brings out some pretty good contrast. Now, I have to bring the light up. I'm getting a little glare there. That's okay. It'll straighten out in a minute. All right, so what are we seeing? Let me put it on an angle here, and that usually straightens it out. All right, I gotta focus it in, and I'm doing this by hand, and it's too big to lock down. But anyway, you should be able to see. That's the artery, I believe. And it dribbled down here as it was dying. Now, that could be the artery, that could be the vein. I think this one over here is also another. I can feel there's a depression there, and I believe, yep, that's what it is right there. A lot of this stuff I'm just looking at really carefully the first time when I'm showing. I have so much stuff I do this all the time. Yeah, that's obviously the artery. That's the vein. The vein has black. The artery has just red. And there it is. All right, and they run together a lot of the times. Not all the time, but a lot of times they do, and in this case they are. And that, I believe, this is just like a little tiny spot, and basically that tiny spot. Let me see if I can focus in. Hold on. You know what? Let me try to move in a little closer. Like I say, this takes some time now, and I'm not sure I'm going to find exactly what I'm looking for. Because you can't always find what you're looking for. But you can find what you need. All right, whoops, I gotta go.